All right, I'm going to go on the library website and show you some of the resources you can use from there to do your equity evaluation. So if you just scroll down on the homepage, you'll find this research tools menu. And under that, there's articles and databases. Then you go under subject guides, you would go to business, and then it will pull up all of this information for you. So I'm only going to show you a few that are useful. Of course, you are encouraged to explore more different ones. If you find something useful, definitely share it with the rest of the team. We'll all learn something new. First one I'm going to do is IBIS World. And this website is especially useful for industry analysis, right? So I'm going to talk about Tractor Supply, which is a consumer discretionary sector company. They deal with farm equipment, they sell pet products, agricultural equipment, so on. But what if I'm not really sure which industry they belong to? Like, what would I do? So what I'm going to do is simply type in Tractor Supply, right? I'm going to do a quick search, and then this returns some results. So nursery and garden stores, yes, they do a lot of that stuff. And then it'll say, hey, the major players in this industry, Tractor Supply is one of them. Lawn and outdoor equipment, they'll say, hey, again, this is a major player. Same for farm supply. So what I'm going to do is click on one of them to kind of show you what it looks like and how you can use it. So this gives you a lot of information about the industry, its supply chain, and it'll give you related international industries. But what is probably the most useful is industry at a glance. Because it's a very long report, you're probably not going to read all of it. If you want to, you can always download it and read it. But it'll tell you, hey, this is how big the industry is. It's like $50 billion. It has been growing at this rate for the last 5 years and is expected to grow at this rate for the next 5 years. This was the average profit margin. This is what they spend on wages or labor, and then these are the how many number of business. Like, is it a fast growing industry? Is it slow? Is it declining? Right? And then it'll give you key trends. A very important thing is the industry outlook. So what is it expected to do over the next few years in the near future? This will give you a lot of information on how to forecast your revenues, especially if your company operates in many different industries like Tractor Supply does. So what I'm going to do is for nursery and garden stores, that segment, I'm going to take my revenue forecast and base it on the information I read here. Then I'm going to go to the pet products industry, and then for that segment, I'm going to base my revenue forecast on that information. And then I will take all of that information put together and then use it for my final revenue forecast, overall revenue forecast. So yeah, there's a lot of great information in here. You can explore it. There's also stuff about competitive landscape. So you can kind of figure out whether there's a lot of competition, how that affects the business. There are major companies. So it'll say like Tractor Supply Company has like quite a big market share. Right, it has like 16.9% market share, and it has been growing uh for the last like it has gone up since the last year. So lots of useful information, right? And then they're like, okay, these are the other companies that have that are other players in this industry as well. Other than industry research, this also has like IBIS World has a lot of other great stuff as well. So if I'm gonna do pet, like just like the number of pets, right? So quite a large amount of Tractor Supply's revenue comes from pet products. So if I have an idea of how where the population of pets in the United States is going, then I can also forecast it. So I can say, as a result, the number of pets has increased at this rate over the past 5 years, right? And then estimates like, oh, so many U.S. households own pets, and over the next 5 years, pet products are number of pets is expected to grow at this rate. So I can know, hey, you know what? I think pet products, their pet product segment is going to go up. Basically, lots of useful information you can use. They also have like COVID-19, how it impacts each industry as well. So this is also a useful tool as well. All right. This is, so like I said, Ibis World is great. I really like to use it. Another one is Morningstar. I'm also going to open Mintel and Statista and Value Line. All right, Morningstar, you probably all used it. I'm going to go companies, Tractor Supply, and this will provide me with a whole dashboard about that company. So like an overview, their financials, takes forever to load, right? So they have an overview, they have their analysis as well. You can also read their reports, which are usually like great, but to read for like the nuances of the company and the industry, and to get other analysts' opinions. You can also get like trailing returns, the financials, and so on. Lots of great stuff here as well. Mintel is another great place when you're looking for industry related information. So lots of insights. I don't use it as often, but definitely some useful stuff. So if you go into category, like household, um, like maybe retail, maybe pet. So I'm gonna go here, see, right? So lots of different um, articles, but what I'm interested in is pet food, because Tractor Supply makes and sells a lot of pet food. So I'm gonna go and read the report. They have like, lots of data. They have an overview of the market and so on. And here I can read the full report. Oops. Right? So this is a super long report, but it might be very useful in terms of, you can kind of just go through um, the contents and then see if there is anything at all that would be useful. For example, like the market, like total US sales and forecast of pet food inflation adjusted prices. So what is the average amount people are paying for pet food, right? It can also give you um, research ideas. They provide research methodology, so you can go and see where did they get their data from, and then maybe you can go directly to the source and find some more information. All right, Statista you might have used also. It is great to kind of get like infographics. I'm gonna go search for farm supply. Right, so okay, some of the things that can come up are like value of pet food and mill-based ingredients. Okay, Tractor Supply. This is their 10K. Lots of different things. If I'm not sure what to search for, I can simply look for the company name, and it will show me what are the relevant things for this company. So, the net sales, if you want to show it in graphical format, this is a great source to do that if you don't have to make your own charts. But you can always make your own charts in Excel. It shouldn't take too long. There's also like, how much are they spending on advertising? So lots of different insights that you can use from Statista as well. Value line also has some useful information. Lots of times I will kind of pick out like the future tax rate from here. So if you go to value line, they have some financial strength ratings here, projections, earnings and valuations, right? And then towards the bottom, they also have like peer evaluation, um, They have insider transactions, so people who own stocks of the company but who are like insiders, so board members or employees or so on, how they have been buying or selling their stock and so on. So the report is probably super useful, where they give a lot of information about projections where they think the company is going in terms of sales or cash flows, earnings. um, I always take my future expected tax rate either from the 10K, or if I can't find it in the 10K, I will use the value line numbers. So you also have that as well. Here they say the next 5 years, the expected income tax rate is 22.5%. And then they have like the PE ratio, dividend yield, and the beta as well right here. So lots of great information. They kind of do like, historically it's been going this way, and then in the future we expect this to happen. So it's very useful to see trends. And then of course they have a short kind of description analysis as well. Here they have a short business description, and then here they have an analysis like, okay, over this period this happened to the company, and this is why it happened, and this is what is expected to happen because of so and so reasons. In this case it's because of the COVID-19. They're saying we've reined in our expectations, they've reduced their estimates. All right, so these are all the some of the resources that I like to use from the library's webpage. And of course there's also the Wall Street Journal that you can read, which is pretty great to keep up to date on the finance industry overall.